No. Mm-hmm. Boring. Oh yeah. Sitting in my quarters on the Normandy, I'm gonna be one that I want to be. Back from the dead. You know that I said I'm gonna take out the collectors and I'm gonna get them with my head. Oh, and you don't stop. Sigh. Yeah, that was all rookie. Okay, that's good enough for now. So, wonderful. Okay, that's good. So, we figured all this out. Now. Alright. Don't need to go to deck 2. Let's try deck 3. Again, you guys are always here at this table playing cards, even in the old Normandy, and I never know what you're doing. Always the same.
Chef surprise again? Come on, Rupert.
I'm sorry, Princess. Filet mignon and caviar coming right up. Let me just get out my doilies. Commander Shepard, the hero of the Citadel. You did humanity proud that day. Mess Sergeant Rupert Gardner here. How can I be of service?
You have everything you need.
I make do. But have you ever tried to prepare a decent meal with military provisions? I'm good, but I'm no miracle worker. Taking down the collectors is going to be rough business. The crew deserves a few fine meals before they throw themselves into the fire.
What do you need?
If I had some quality ingredients... Oh, shit. You've got more to worry about than grocery shopping on the Citadel. Forget I mentioned it.
Let's take a look at the list.
If I head that way, I'll keep an eye out.
Much appreciated. Most of this list is probably standard fare for those namby-pambies on the Citadel. Anything else you'd like to talk about?
How about what you're doing here?
What do you do here on the Normandy?
What don't I do? Most think of me as the ship's cook, but I'm also the facilities technician and custodian. HVAC, plumbing, non-mission critical electrical. I make sure they're all clean and running.
You have everything you need.
If you happen to find any of those supplies on the list I gave you, it would be...
What do you do here on the Normandy?
HVAC, plumbing, non-mission critical electrical.
So the man cleaning the toilets is also preparing the meals.
I wash my hands. Most of the time.
Tremendous.
This ain't no luxury liner. You have to pull your own weight in a Cerberus vessel, and I catch what falls through the cracks. Through the cracks.
This guy's a riot.
How do you feel about working for Cerberus?
Damn proud. Cerberus gets the job done. The Alliance and Council have got their heads buried so deep up their butt puckers they can't see squat.
They're what now?
It'll take good old human ingenuity to crush these collector vermin. Only Cerberus knows that.
In the future, swears are stupid.
How did you find your way into Cerberus?
Can you believe I was once a family man, working the EZO rigs along the frontier? I was happy enough, but losing everything to Batarian raiders can change your outlook. I needed to make a difference. I'm no soldier, but I've got skills, and Cerberus keeps an eye out for talent. I'll do whatever it takes to help, be that plumbing a sewer, routing an air duct, or keeping everyone's bellies full.
I feel like this guy's role is fulfilled in every science fiction movie ever.
I won't take any more of your time.
Back to work.
Alright, special ingredients, huh? Go to the Citadel and purchase the special ingredients. Alright, well, I'll do that when I get there. Alright, what else we got? Main battery.
gunnery officer is required to access the gunnery control station.
Dude, stop telling me what I can't access. I'm the captain, you got me? You spent tons of money to bring me to life. So, I do what I want. Alright. Hey, nerdy. Ah. Miranda's office. Miranda, it's time we had a chat. Let's take a look over here. This all looks like it's in order. Quite a number of pillows you've got, soldier. Is that regulation?
Commander, what can I do for you?
Do you have a minute, Miranda?
No doubt you've got a lot of questions.
Yeah, I know.
Cerberus isn't as evil as most people believe. If I can help allay any of your concerns, I'd be happy to do so. So, what would you like to know?
What can you tell me about the elusive man?
Not much that you don't already know. Even I don't have access to most of his background. And you've seen more of him than most ever do. It's rare for him to become directly involved in missions, but you're something special. Whatever else people might say about him, I can assure you he's got humanity's best interests at heart. That includes you and me.
How can you be sure of that if you know so little about him?
I didn't get to where I am without knowing how to gauge people's motives and ambitions, even from brief encounters. He's no saint, and he'd be the first to admit it. But he is committed. Humanity couldn't have a better advocate.
What kind of resources does Cerberus have?
We're very well funded, though I doubt anyone other than the elusive man knows exactly how well. But our resources aren't unlimited. Reviving you and rebuilding the Normandy was a significant investment, and a significant risk. We're all hoping you can do the impossible, Shepard. No pressure.
Are you military or political? Or both?
Cerberus has several divisions. Political, military, scientific, but we're all working towards the same goal. We keep our ranks and structure similar to the Alliance. A lot of our recruits started there, but not all Cerberus operations use the same protocols. We try not to get bogged down in bureaucracy or formality.
I know what we're doing here, but what's Cerberus's long-term goal?
The advancement of the human race.
That's cool.
Nothing more, nothing less. The Solarians have the Special Tasks Group. The Asari have their legendary commandos for stealth and recon operations. Cerberus is humanity's answer to those organizations.
Yeah, except none of those organizations are like, here's how we put our race above everyone else and we will destroy everyone else in the process.
But those organizations are regulated by governments. Who keeps Cerberus in check?
Nobody. We're privately funded and our backers trust the elusive man to make the right decisions. But he's very clear about our goals. Protect humanity and serve its advancement.
I know what we're doing here, but what's Cerberus's long-term goal?
The advancement of the human race. The Solarians. Cerberus is humanity's answer to those organizations.
Tell me about yourself, Miranda.
Oh, I guess that's fair. I've spent the last 2 years learning everything there is to know about you. Well, you should probably know that I've had extensive genetic modification.
Genetic modification,
Not my
huh?
decision, but I make the most of it. It's one of the reasons the elusive man handpicked me. I'm very good at just about anything I choose to do.
What level of genetic modification are we talking about?
That's very thorough. Physically, I'm superior in many ways. I heal quickly, and I'll likely live half again as long as the average human. My biotic abilities are also very advanced. For a human. Add to that some of the best training and education money can buy, and, well, it's pretty impressive, really.
Sounds like you were designed to be perfect.
Maybe, but I'm not. I'm still human, Shepard. I make mistakes like everyone else. And when I do, the consequences are severe. Everyone expects a lot from someone with my abilities.
You certainly don't lack for confidence.
It's just a fact. My reflexes, my strength, even my looks, they're all designed to give me an edge.
My looks.
No point in hiding from it. It's the reason I'm trusted to oversee the most dangerous, risky, and technically demanding operations Cerberus undertakes. And it's why I was assigned to you. It's my job to make sure you succeed, Shepard.
Thanks for the information, Miranda. I'll talk to you later.
Of course, Commander. Whatever you need.
Alright, now we have the second conversation. Just to make sure.
Commander, what can I do for you?
You have a minute,
There's
Miranda?
a lot to do, Shepard.
You have a minute, Miranda?
There's a lot to do, Shepard. Maybe another time.
I'll let you work.
Of course, Commander.
Alright. Alright. so that takes care of that. I've already been down there. Ah, the biomedical lab. Okay. Whoa. AI core.
Access to the AI core is restricted.
Of course it is. Hey, it's Dr. Chakwas. I will talk to you in a minute.
What's this area of the ship?
The sick bay. It is equipped to provide short-term emergency care. In the event of critical injury, personnel must be transferred to a fully equipped medical facility.
This thing with his shoulder it keeps doing. I love how everyone who used to work for the Alliance is all like, yeah, we're working for Cerberus now. We know they're sketchy, but, you know, getting the band back together.
Commander Shepard.
No, I did investigate initially,
I watched the
Talikos.
Normandy crumble with you on board. It's good to see you alive.
I'm shocked. You're serving on a Cerberus vessel now?
Surprising, even to me. Yet, here I am. The kind of trauma you endured would have changed most people. But not you, I see. Welcome back, Shepard.
Do you have everything you need?
I believe so. This medical bay seems very much like the sick bay on the original Normandy. Only thing missing are my private reserves. I even had a bottle of Ceres ice brandy that I was saving for a special occasion.
Really? I'm just gonna let that stare sit there for a minute. He's like, ice brandy? You want me to get you ice brandy?
I'll keep an eye out for a replacement bottle.
Oh, you needn't. It's expensive, and we have much larger concerns ahead.
You got that right.
There's a very good chance this mission will be a one-way trip. Are you prepared for that?
I've been through the reclaiming of Shanxi, the Skillian Blitz. We survived the Battle of the Citadel and the destruction of the Normandy together. I've lived a full life. No regrets. I'd like to make sure the crew gets the same opportunity.
You're not the Cerberus type, Doctor.
I don't work for Cerberus. I work for you. On a mission that may be crucial to the survival of the human race. I have faith that your dealings with Cerberus will be ethical. I trust you, Commander.
Yeah, that's why they brought me back.
Doctor, you've been with the Alliance for years. Why leave now?
After the Normandy was lost, the surviving crew was reassigned. I was stationed at the Mars Naval Medical Center, a very respectable position, but it wasn't on a starship.
Colonial military life isn't for you?
I've spent most of my life on warships, never knowing what the next mission might bring. I'm used to the hum of engines, the creaking of bulkheads, that subtle vertigo when the momentum dampeners kick in. Life planetside is just too static, too boring.
I'll see you later, Doctor.
Commander.
Find a bottle of Ceres ice brandy at a store somewhere. Okay. Wait, there's two Codex things. And Paragon. That's not going to be the top of my list. Okay. I think we've almost got to everyone that we need to get to now. Just got one more deck to check out.
Access to life support is restricted.
Of course it is.
The port observation deck is closed until needed.
I can get in the men's restroom though, so there's that. Why? What? Why am I able? What? Wow. In the future, men's restrooms still suck. Man. Hey, Elusive Man, can you get a better restroom than, like... Although, I guess this isn't my restroom, since I'm the captain and all.
The starboard observation deck is closed until needed.
I feel like I have to check this out. Wow. For the first time...
The men's restroom is on the port side of the ship.
That's funny. The women's restrooms are just as bad as the men's. That is not ever happening. As we all know, women's restrooms are always far better than men's restrooms, which are basically holes in the ground. All right.
Starboard observation deck is closed until needed.
All right.
Oh, she's a cutie. How old?
She'll be a year old next month.
Oh, you'll miss her first birthday.
Well, my family lives in New Canton.
Oh, that colony's on the edge of the frontier. Could be vulnerable to collector attack, couldn't it?
Exactly. It's most important that she have a first birthday. That's why I'm here.
I can respect that. What's up, crew? Alright, that's where I'm going next, is the engineering deck. Alright, I got all the info about that place. Both sides. Okay. Engineering, last deck. Drop shuttle.
The Systems Alliance UT-47 drop shuttle landing craft holds 12 soldiers in a cramped, uncomfortable cargo bay and 2 more in the cockpit. Officially named the Kodiak, the drop shuttle is better known to Alliance Marines as the Combat Cockroach due to its appearance and durability.
Yeah, it's no Mako,
the
though.
vehicle's robust environmental sealant technology exposes few vulnerable parts to the elements. First tested in the sulfuric acid clouds and extreme temperatures of Venus, the Kodiak can land in hard vacuum, high pressure, and temperatures from near absolute zero to over 900 degrees Celsius. A true contragravitic vehicle, the Kodiak's substantial Element Zero core allows flight by entirely countering the vehicle's mass. Its small thrusters are for directional control only. So if the mass effect field fails, the vehicle becomes a proverbial 3 million credit coffin.
Great.
The unarmed shuttle forgoes weaponry space for active masking, electronic countermeasures, and a robust kinetic barrier system, ideal for dropping troops undetected.
Alright, that's interesting.
What's this area of the ship?
Normandy's cargo deck. It includes facilities to rearm and repair Normandy's embarked ground vehicle and shuttle.
My last ship didn't need a shuttle. Why do we have one?
This ship is nearly twice the mass of the previous Normandy. It is more difficult to land the ship on high-gravity worlds.
Okay.
Access to this room is currently restricted.
As always.
Access to this room is currently restricted.
Wait. Let's stay on this floor. Alright, Engineer Daniels.
You came all the way down here to see us?
Scottish.
Speaking to our commanding officer.
Hello, Scottish accent, Donnelly.
I'm touring the ship, getting to know my crew.
I'm Engineer Ken Donnelly, handling the power control systems. This is Gabby.
That's Engineer Gabriella Daniels, actually. I'm responsible for the propulsion systems.
What can we do for you, Commander?
I want you to tell me just once. She's breaking apart!
Are you set up okay down here?
We can't complain. I just wish it didn't take so long to calibrate the FBA arrays.
Kenneth, you're complaining.
What kind of problems are you having?
When they upgraded the Normandy design, they got a bit sloppy with the FBA couplings. I won't bore you with the tech, but there is an array of attenuators in the primary power transfer system that channels the field bleed.
Kenneth, you're boring the commander with tech. In short, if we had T6 FBA couplings installed, it'd save us a lot of maintenance time each day.
Why isn't something like that already installed?
It's probably just a design oversight. Efficiency isn't affected. It's a maintenance issue.
Also, the T6 model can be hard to find. Nash and Stellar Dynamics discontinued them.
We could probably find used ones in the Omega markets, but we have no time for shore leave.
I'll have to get one of those then.
What do you think about Cerberus?
Actually, we don't know much about the organization other than the Normandy team. We know our mission and who's in charge.
We're off to kick the collectors right in their daddy bags. That's enough for me.
Their daddy bags? Oh, I love this guy. This guy and I are going to be friends.
How did you end up with Cerberus, Gabby?
Kenneth and I have been partners in crime since we graduated from Tech Academy. When he got the Cerberus offer, I insisted that it include me. He'd fall apart without me.
Thanks, Mum.
Also, I love engines, and the Normandy is state-of-the-art. When I got the opportunity to work on her, I had to jump.
So how did you get an offer to join Cerberus, Ken?
Hey, Nam.
Once you were gone, the Alliance brass descended like vultures, tearing apart everything you'd
I'm
said.
enjoying Scotty.
I was very public with my defense for you. I didn't hold back.
I didn't hold back.
That's an understatement. If Kenneth wasn't such a talented engineer, they'd have court-martialed him for insubordination.
The Haggis is
But
in
he
the
got
fire for
noticed
sure.
by the elusive man. He made an offer, and here I am.
Where did you receive your training?
Both Gabby and I started in the Alliance, serving on the SSV Perugia.
She flew in the first wave at the Battle of the Citadel. We saw Sovereign firsthand.
Why did you leave the Perugia?
After you died, Anderson lost political clout. The Council backslid on the Reaper menace.
They discounted Sovereign as an isolated threat, as a single...
Which was bullshit. They said your warnings of a greater danger were mistaken or delusional.
We lost respect for Alliance leadership. We need to fight the real enemy, and only Cerberus seem to be doing that.
Carry on.
Will do, Commander.
Alright, a journal. So you finished up with Mass Effect 1 today, Inam, right? I'm giving it all she's got. Okay, FBA couplings. Alright. Fair enough.
I'm amazed Shepard came down to see us.
I told you he would.
What the hell's Edie? Why? Oh, there you are.
What's this area of the ship?
This is main engineering, which contains the ship's main fusion plant and Mass
Cool.
Effect core.
Yeah, definitely make sure to follow Inam. I feel like every time we go on each other's streams, I feel like we're always kind of exchanging compliments. But Inam really is a good streamer. He actually taught me some stuff about Mass Effect 1. Yeah, he's a good guy. So definitely give him a follow if you have not already. Let's see. That's pretty badass. Screenshot. So glad I can do that now because I'm playing this on Steam. It's a lot easier than on my old system. Oh, cool, cool. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, that's what I thought. Alright, so that takes care of that. Just about done. Now I can go down to the lower deck and see what we have below ground. Where clearly I'll have to be fighting some alien infestation at some point, because that's what always happens. I know the deal. I know the drill. Right now, though, there's like nothing here. Oh, how to keep track of the choices. Oh, that's a good... Yeah, that's right, yeah. But you should follow his channel, too. But right, his RPG casts are generally on Destructoid. That's a good question, Lego. I don't know that I have an answer, because I've never done a game book. I started to, actually, a long time ago, transfer a game book onto some new, like, it was basically like this new paper system I had developed when I was a kid, but, I mean, when I was, like, 10. But I don't remember anything about it, and it wouldn't have been a good idea to use anyway, because it just was not going to work out. So, I don't really know. I don't have any advice for you. I'll have to think about that. Demiser. Alright, let's head up to the Combat Information Center. Alright, cool. So we have talked to everyone that we wanted to talk to. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. What I'm going to do now, as I have been promising... Hold on a second. What I'm going to do now is, I have a new short story that I have just finished for an anthology that I'm actually submitting tomorrow. And I promised everyone that I was going to read it on stream when it was done. And so I'm going to go over to Kata's channel, my friend Catabasis, let them know that I'm going to be reading the story, and then I'm going to read it on stream, and then I will come back to Mass Effect 2. So I'm going to cancel out of this for the moment. Whoops. By which I mean exit. Okay. And let's see if I can make something interesting for people to look at as I am reading. Yes, Steam. I know all the awesome stuff you have. I get it. I'll take care of the screenshot manager later. No, not on both streams. No. Because I don't want to do that to him. Because that wouldn't be fair. All right. Because he's doing his own thing. But I already talked to him about announcing it. So I'm going to head over to his stream quickly. So nobody leave. I'm not stopping the broadcast or anything. I'm going to turn on TeamSpeak. All right. Here he is.
Connected. Here, I'm gonna turn on my power network and see. I'm making an excess, quite a bit of an excess right now, but that's not counting any of my industrial being built.
Hey, Kata.
Hey, how's it going, Arv?
What's going on, man? Are the servers working? I heard you were having some issues before.
I can't get on my last server.
Oh,
I gotta be on this one.
That sucks. What's up, chat? I'm just coming over. Wow, you got yourself 132 viewers. Nice. Hey everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hey everybody. I'm just coming on for a minute. I don't want you to all leave Kata stream, but I'm just announcing. I actually texted Kat about this earlier on. I have a new short story that I just finished for an anthology that I'm sending out tomorrow, and some people had asked me to read it in my stream. So I'm playing Mass Effect 2 right now, and I'm taking a break to read that short story. So if people want to open a new window, again, I repeat, do not leave Kata stream. But if you want to open a new window and go over to my stream, I'm going to be reading the story over there.
Awesome.
So
Arv's he's a published author of fantasy, so he's legit, like for reals.
Thanks, man. So yeah, so if people want to go over,
also college professor.
And the stream is. Let me link it. Yeah.
Yeah, link that shit.
Link it.
Thanks, Murph. I appreciate that.
Let's see.
And everybody knows R's voice is just amazing, so that's where you really should go.
Jeez, thanks, man. Thanks, Rookie, and thanks and hi to everybody out here. Warp and Kool-Aid and Xanos and Papa and a whole ton of people. Yeah, so I'm going to head over there, and then, as I say, I'm going to play a little more ME2, and then I will come back to watch Kata building his awesome Sauce City. So thanks, man. I'll talk to you a little bit later on then, dude.
Yeah, we're going to talk later.
Okay, cool. I am looking forward to that. All right, bye, everyone. I'll see you in a bit.
So...
Channel switched.
User joined your channel.
All right. Hey, Papa. Welcome over. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Okay. Give me 1 second here while I get everything configured. I just saw the whole thing left over. Warp saying, when I have sexy dreams, the woman I'm having sexy time with has Arv's voice. That's how awesome it is. I'm deeply troubled by that. I just want to say. Deeply troubled. Okay, I'm pulling out my laptop. Bear with me. Oh, and I have to think of something cool to put up on stream so you guys aren't just looking at some blank screen. What can I put up there? Let's see. I'm going to see if I could find something awesome to put up. Let's see. How about... Oh, this might... Oh, nice. Okay, well, this isn't going to be quite what I was originally thinking about, but it will work. Okay, hold on a second. Whoa, all of a sudden, 37 people. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I know, Lego. I know you want to play. I'm glad you enjoy it so much, seriously. But no, I want to focus on this and then Mass Effect. So hold on, everybody. I'm just going to open up something here. Bear with me. All right. There, that I think is more like it. That feels a little bit better. All right. Okay, let me turn. Vetoed. Yeah, turn the monitor off. I don't know, and I wanted to say thank you. So thanks everybody for coming over. Hope that you're still watching Cat as you're doing this. Yeah, I had talked to him about letting people know because as I said, I got my start on Cata's stream. He and I are friends, and so he knows that I've been doing a lot of different writing projects and so on. My first novel came out a couple of years back, and I write novels and short stories. My next ones are being shopped. And I go to a number of conferences and conventions. I'm a member of Writers Symposium and stuff, and I'm a college professor and a professional writer. So I had a new short story that I was working on, which I just finished tonight. And so people had asked me to read it because I told them I was working on it, and some people asked me to read it when I was done. And I'm done. So I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to play a little more Mass Effect 2, and finally I will end up back at Cata's stream. So feel free if you guys want to head back over to Cata's stream and just stay there, that's fine. But for those of you who came here to listen, I am very happy to have you, and I will read it to you. And I don't know, Kingy, actually how long I'm going to be doing it for. Depends on, I don't know how long it goes because I just finished it tonight. So I would guess like 20-25 minutes probably would be my guess, but maybe less. We'll see. Okay, laptop is on. Document is opening. All right. And if people have okay, cool. And if people have questions afterwards, and they want to ask me about questions about either the story or any of that, this is going to appear, by the way, in an anthology called Time Traveled Tales, which is going to be running on Kickstarter, actually. And it's basically is a group of stories from writers that are a member of the Origins Library. Origins is a convention that's held in Columbus every year, Columbus, Ohio. And I'm a member of the Origins Library, and we had a series of stories that we wrote. And the original one that I submitted to them was actually an introduction, a prologue to one of my novels. So when they said they were doing this whole Kickstarter thing, I was like, I don't know if I want to give you a novel prologue. How about I write another short story? And they said, sure, that's fine, as long as you can have it to us by this date. And that date is tomorrow. So this is the deal. So this is called Sanction. I hope people like it. I have an army, Shessenzu said. He stood in the center of the room of silence, arms folded rigidly against his chest, clad in the outfit of the 7 generals. Full armor of interlocking plates of dark metal, ceremonial dagger in a leather sheath at his waist, agonizingly sharp shanto in a worked leather scabbard on the opposite side, dark crimson cloak flowing behind him. He was tall, much taller than anyone else at the Placid Temple, and his dark eyebrows stuck out over a pair of smoldering brown eyes which were fixed, as they had been for the past 10 minutes, on the back of a small figure dressed in a robe of simple brown cloth, kneeling in front of the equally small and simple altar of remembrance. Zheng Yao, standing next to Shessenzu, ran a hand through his dark hair and cleared his throat uneasily. He had expected this eventuality, as indeed he expected everything which ultimately came to pass, for 2 weeks now, ever since the young messenger had come stumbling into the front hall of the Placid Temple, drunk with exhaustion, staying conscious just long enough to pay his respects to the blessed Channel Zhu before collapsing. But the message he carried on a piece of rolled-up parchment in an inside pocket of his cloak was clear enough. Shessenzu demands sanction from the blessed Channel Zhu. He is less than 2 days away. Sanction, as Zheng Yao thought about it sourly, was perhaps the most irritating of words. Its literal meaning never fit with the actual situations in which it was applied. To sanction meant to approve of, to support, even to encourage, and there was very little in Shessenzu's background which would have given the Placid Temple good reason to approve, support, or encourage him to do anything other than retire and return to a life of quiet contemplation. But Shessenzu had left that life behind many years ago. He was all honed sharpness now, all edges and angles and points, and there was nothing for him here any more. Except, of course, sanction. There was that. I have an army, Shessenzu repeated, his voice louder. To speak in the room of silence was a violation of centuries-old tradition, but then the first general had showed little interest in respecting any of the Placid Temple's other traditions to this point. He opened his mouth as if to speak again, but stopped as the small figure finally stood with slow and great effort and turned to face him. The small man's face was old, lined and creased like parchment upon which words had been written and rewritten countless times, until it had grown so thin that a simple breeze might break it into 1,000 constituent parts, floating away on the wind. A thin white beard outlined the mouth and ran along the jawline to the ear, while equally thin white eyebrows rounded over the eyes, their color as deep blue as the sparkling sea. The figure's steady, fathomless gaze caught and held Shesun Zu's fierce one for a long moment, and Zheng Yao sensed a slight shift in the first general's posture. But before he had time to process it, the figure lowered his gaze, turned and shuffled for the exit of the room of silence. Shesun Zu blinked, then turned and marched after him, slow but steady, with Zheng Yao close behind. Ever since he was a little boy, Zheng Yao had felt a sense of relief when leaving the room of silence. Though there was comfort to be had in the peaceful quiet of the chamber, his thoughts often ran too quickly without task to keep them busy. And for all his love for the placid temple and the edicts of the blessed Channel Zhu, there was terror in the introspection it demanded of its adherents. There was no way to hide from oneself, after all. So Zheng Yao had been fortunate that he had found something which fit both his talents and his terrors, scribe of the placid temple, the one person, besides the blessed Channel when he so wished it, permitted to speak within and without the temple walls. But even for him, speech was forbidden within the room of silence, and so he was glad to leave it, hearing the sounds of spring morning wash over him as they crossed into the courtyard, birds twittering, the seeds near the pond at the center of the courtyard, the reeds near the pond at the center of the courtyard rustling in the soft breeze. The first general, of course, seemed singularly unmoved by any such considerations. Zheng Yao could practically hear his teeth grinding, the impact of his metal boots on the flat stone echoing through the courtyard as they walked along. "I will have an answer," he finally said, voice strained, as they came alongside the pond and stopped. The old man was gazing into the depth of the pond, watching with what looked like a small smile as the orange and purple carvoy fish swam to and fro below the gently rippling surface of the water, and showed no sign of having heard Shesun Zu. "I have been, out of respect for the placid temple's traditions, and, of course, yourself, more than patient so far," Shesun Zu said. Zheng Yao winced. Using any but the old man's full ceremonial title when addressing him was a horrific breach of decorum, though he doubted very much the first general would care. But the old man still had no reaction, staring down into the water. "But that patience cannot continue. I must march in the morning, and I must have sanction by then." Zheng Yao cleared his throat again. "Such sanction is unprecedented, with so little time to consider the request, most revered First General. The blessed Channel must meditate and pray about the possibilities, and—" "I am not addressing you," Shesun Zu snapped, not even looking in Zheng Yao's direction. "If I desire conversation from servants, I'll ask for it. The only one who can answer my request is him, and I will have that answer now, blessed Channel." His relentless gaze bore into the old man, tranquilly observing the fish. "I have an army," he said for the third time after a long moment. "You need only tell me whether you grant sanction for the army to operate as it must." "You have an army," the blessed Channel Zhu said, somewhat feebly after a long pause. He looked up and smiled at Shesun Zu, who for a moment was startled into silence. "They say it is a strong army, far stronger than any in the province, or indeed the nation. It is well trained and highly loyal." He strolled almost casually to the edge of the courtyard and looked out. "And as I might have expected, it is legion." Zheng Yao, coming alongside the first general in the blessed Channel, gasped. In ancient times the blessed temple had been built on a flat hill with a commanding view of the surrounding countryside, and Zheng Yao had spent much of his childhood gazing out at the land beyond. To the north and south lay miles and miles of grassland, rocks and gently rolling hills, spotted here and there with a few low trees and bushes. Close by to the east lay the border separating the nation of Yinshan from its neighbor Beishing, so close he could see the guard towers of Beishing standing watch over its side of the divide. And to the west the land gradually sloped upwards to the foothills and mountains which separated the narrow eastern portion of Yinshan from the rest of the country, where most of its people lived, worked, and governed. But there was more than that today. For as Zheng Yao looked to the west, he saw flags fluttering in the breeze. Hundreds, thousands of them, a rainbow of colors reflecting the different provinces, principalities, and villages of Yinshan, but also the dominant color of dark crimson, the chosen color of the first general. The spearheads and tall shields held by each soldier glinted in the sun, and the spear shafts waved gently to and fro like the grass on which they stood. As he stared, Zheng Yao thought he heard Shesun Zhu give a small, satisfied grunt of approval. Legion. Yes, Shesun Zhu said. The largest army ever assembled, and the most disciplined. I have personally seen to the training of the division commanders, and they in turn have drilled the soldiers until one division of the First Army could wipe out any other nation's force. He turned to the Blessed Channel, still looking out at the army tranquilly. And now they will have the chance to do so. They await only your sanction, the same sanction you gave many years ago. I ask nothing I have not asked before. The Blessed Channel Zhu's expression did not change. Your reasons for asking have changed, Shesun Zhu. The first general stiffened at the use of his familiar name, his dark eyebrows gathered into disapproving angles. That is not true. You of all people should know it is not true. He turned away and gazed out on his army. When I came here 10 years ago, I was young and foolish. I knew nothing of the world or its workings, only that I needed to do something, anything, to keep Yinshan from tearing itself apart. He sighed, his eyes suddenly losing focus. My father was old then, weak and feeble. His strength had gone, but he had the sense to send me here for counsel and learning, to become more than the young fool I was, to shape me into the leader I needed to be to restore the faith of my people. He looked back at the Blessed Channel, and I was shaped into that leader. What I learned here made me strong enough to unify our people, to resist invasion, to become First General. I ask nothing more than the same support now. 10 years ago, the Blessed Channel said after a long moment, still staring over the First General's army, you asked for sanction to protect Yinshan from invasion. You asked for sanction to repel invaders and restore the peace. And the Placid Temple gave you sanction to do those things. And I did them, Shesun Zhu said, a slightly petulant edge to his voice. I did what I was tasked with doing. I drove back the invaders from Beisheng. I annihilated their army. I unified our people. Zheng Yao watched as the first general lifted his angular chin into a defiant line. I saved Yinshan, and I became first general because of it. That is true, the Blessed Channel said, nodding his head once in acknowledgement. It is why we gave you sanction. The time is no different now, Shesun Zhu said insistently. Yinshan must grow, expand, if it is to stay unified and remain as one people. Beisheng attacked us 10 years ago. They must pay the price for that attack now. Did they not pay the price for it then? The Blessed Channel Zhu asked quietly. No, Shesun Zhu replied immediately, biting off the word as he spoke it. Too many of us paid our lives to protect Yinshan. There was no reckoning for Beisheng. The destruction of their army served only to stop their invasion. It did not render judgment on their actions. Such judgment, the Blessed Channel Zhu said, watching as a hawk soared overhead, making several wide circles over the numberless soldiers before flying off into the distance, is neither yours, nor ours, nor any mortals in the world to render. We taught you many things when you were with us, Shesun Zhu. Strength, yes. Will, yes. Suddenly he turned his gaze to the first generals. But also wisdom, humility, and most of all mercy. The knowledge that vengeance is as fleeting as the wind which sweeps over these plains, as transient and shallow as a child's sand structure swept away by the sea. Those last lessons were far more important than the first ones, yet you seem to have forgotten them. Shesun Zhu's face worked, his features contorted to a scowl, and Zheng Yao waited for the reaction he knew was coming. When I came here, the first general finally said, his voice a low, menacing rumble, you taught me how to find my strength from the earth, my passion from the wind, my fury from the storm. I took those lessons and saved Yinshan. But now you have become weak, feeble, like my father was, he said, fist clenching as they rested at his sides. You no longer have the strength to advise the 7 generals, nor the wisdom to keep our country safe. So I will no longer ask. I will no longer beg. Now I demand. I have an army. You will give me sanction. You will give it to me now, and I will march into Beisheng and show the world how strong Yinshan has truly become. Zheng Yao gasped again. You would threaten... But the first general turned to him with such a look of murderous fury that the scribe of the Placid Temple fell silent. Shesun Zhu stared at Zheng Yao for another moment before turning to the Blessed Channel. I will have your answer, he said, his voice now ragged with passion. The blessed Channel Zhu regarded him for a long moment. No, he finally said. Shesun Zhu's face contorted in rage again, and his hand drew back from his hip. For a moment Zheng Yao feared he would strike the blessed Channel where he stood. But then the hand dropped again, and the first general turned on his heel and strode away. He stopped after a few steps. You have until morning, he said over his shoulder. When the sun rises I will ask again. And if you do not grant me sanction then, I will invade Beijing anyway. Once I have brought them to heel, I will return. He looked back. I will return, and I will level the placid temple when I come. Then he turned away again, and with a swirl of his dark crimson cloak he was gone. Zheng Yao swallowed. Blessed Channel Zhu, what can be done? The blessed Channel was now looking down at the ground. With an effort he lowered himself to a sitting position, still gazing downwards, and placed his hand, palm up, on the ground. A small black ant crawled onto his palm. Blessed Channel? Zheng Yao said. But the blessed Channel Zhu did not seem to notice, smiling at the black ant crawling over the mountains and valleys of his wrinkled palm. Blessed Channel, Zheng Yao said again, a little more insistently than was strictly polite. Yes, scribe, the blessed Channel responded at last, still looking at the ant. What can we do? Zheng Yao repeated. He looked out at the first general's army, a menacing sea waiting to sweep over the placid temple. Even if word could reach the armies of the other generals, and even if they could all come to defend us by tomorrow morning, the first general's army is far greater than all of theirs combined. How can we refuse him sanction? The blessed Channel Zhu frowned ever so slightly as he looked up at Zheng Yao. Because we must not grant it. Zheng Yao shrugged his shoulders, feeling helpless. But we will be destroyed, and Beisheng too. We cannot stop Shesun Zhu. The blessed Channel nodded thoughtfully. You expect that he will succeed? Zheng Yao nodded, somewhat surprised. Yes, blessed Channel, I can see no other outcome. The old man nodded again. Then we must be prepared for that outcome, scribe. We will each consider it this evening, and then we will see what the morning brings. And he looked back at the ant which had made its way to his thumb, and was now beginning to climb it, slowly and patiently. That night passed poorly for Zheng Yao, tossing and turning on his simple cloth mat on the floor of the scribe's room. His love for the placid temple and the blessed Channel Zhu was fighting with his knowledge of the world, and no matter how many times he ran over the possibilities in his head, he could see no way to avoid war and absolute destruction. The first general would never relent, and the blessed Channel would never turn from a path he had set for himself in the placid temple. And all for sanction, a ceremonial mark of approval which, as important as it might be to the people of Yinshan, would have no effect one way or the other on the ability of Shesun Zhu's army to overwhelm his foes. Zheng Yao knew more of the ways of the world than the other residents of the placid temple, and he knew that no respect for wisdom or age would hold back the first general. There must be something words can do, he said to the heavy darkness. There must be something I can say. But the darkness did not reply, and Zheng Yao, tears in his eyes, rolled to and fro on his mat until he finally dropped into a restless sleep filled with dark dreams and darker outcomes. He was woken by the rays of the early morning sun hitting his face, blinding him as he opened his eyes and rolled into a sitting position. Suddenly he heard shouts and the sound of clashing metal outside, and he quickly put on his sandals before clambering to his feet and running from the room. As he descended the stairs, the noise got louder until he emerged from the temple, blinking into the brilliant sunshine. The blessed Channel Zhu was at the edge of the temple courtyard again, staring out onto the land beyond as several monks from the placid temple stood behind him at a respectful distance. As Zheng Yao stopped next to the blessed Channel, his heart sank. The first general's army was still there, but now it was positioned away from the placid temple, looking like the vast head of a spear pointed directly at the border of Beisheng. Sitting on a magnificent horse, armor and helmet shining in the sun, was Shesun Zhu. On another horse next to him was the flagmaster, holding black and white triangular flags on two long poles. After a moment, the flagmaster hoisted both flags into the air. Zheng Yao was no warrior, but he knew well enough what this communication meant. The white flag meant yes, the black flag no. Sanction, or no sanction. There was a pause. Then the Blessed Channel nodded to one of the monks behind him, and as Zheng Yao looked, he saw the young monk lift a tall pole resting in the grass into the air. Fluttering from the top was a black flag. No. A long time passed. Then Sheshenzu turned his horse away, and a horn blast echoed from the vicinity of the flagmaster, immediately echoed by other horns in the distance. Slowly, inexorably, the army of the first general began to move away towards the border of Beisheng. Zheng Yao felt a lump in his throat as he watched. Then he heard a voice. It was quiet but familiar. And as he looked over, he saw that the Blessed Channel Zhu had his eyes closed, his arms outstretched towards the army. The words were strange, foreign, unrecognizable, but as Zheng Yao listened, he began to notice a familiar pattern, reminding him of something in his studies from long ago. Something very old, something... Then it hit him. They were familiar words after all, but in the wrong order, the wrong cadence, the wrong inflection. It was... Sanction, he breathed. It's the words of sanction in reverse. As he watched, the army of the first general grew smaller in the distance, but much smaller and much too quickly. After a few moments he saw the disciplined formations beginning to break apart, the inexorable forward push becoming confused, disjointed. The army grew smaller, its advance more disrupted, until Zheng Yao could no longer see anything but Sheshenzu on his horse. Within a minute the army was gone, replaced by the usual grassland waving softly in the gentle breeze. Only the first general remained, his horse now motionless beneath him. Zheng Yao stared, mouth agape. After a few moments he turned to the Blessed Channel Zhu, whose eyes were open, his face looking more wizened and lined than ever. His expression was serious, even sad. "Blessed Channel Zhu," Zheng Yao finally managed. "What did you do?" At first the old man did not answer, but finally, as if he was only now hearing the question, he glanced at Zheng Yao. "We revoked sanction," he replied simply. "Did you not expect it?" Zheng Yao shook his head mutely. The Blessed Channel nodded and looked back at the empty fields below, where thousands of soldiers had stood just a minute before. "Sanction, Zheng Yao, is not permanent. It must first be earned, and then it must be kept. When Sheshenzu came to us, we taught him as best we could. Some taught him of strength, others of skill, but I taught him in the ways of mercy and humility, and I failed. I failed twice, for he did not learn my lessons, and I did not know that he had not learned them. And so when he requested sanction, we granted it to him. We gave him an army." "From where?" Zheng Yao asked, his voice strained. The Blessed Channel smiled. "Why, from everywhere." He motioned above, below, the sweep of his arm taking in all of the world around the placid temple. "The birds who fly, the animals who run, the insects who scurry. Sheshenzu's need was great, and his motives true. So we gave him sanction, and gave him his army. We did what had to be done." "He did not know?" Zheng Yao said, thinking suddenly of the ant on the palm of the Blessed Channel Zhu's hand. "No," the Blessed Channel replied. "He knew only that he had sent out a call for soldiers to come to the defense of Yinshan, and day after day those soldiers came until his army was formed. So he drew strength and courage from the rightness of his cause, and he defended Yinshan and drove the forces of Beisheng back. Then he went away, and I was troubled, for though Yinshan needed to be united, I did not know if such an army would stir other thoughts in him." He paused for a moment, looking out at the motionless figure of Sheshenzu. "And there I failed a third time, for I thought he would eventually learn mercy and humility if he did not already have them. But he became first general, and his thoughts turned to power and domination and vengeance. When he came to us this time, he wished for our sanction to give him the moral right to wage war. Yet he did not know that sanction had made it possible for him to wage war at all." Zheng Yao ran a hand through his black hair. "Where did the army go?" "Back to where it came," the Blessed Channel said, looking down at the ground. Oops, sorry. Zheng Yao saw a black ant scurry past his sandaled feet and nodded slowly. Then I understand what has happened, though for the first time I did not expect it, the scribe of the placid temple said with a small smile. But what? He was interrupted by a horn blast, and looking up he saw the first general galloping wildly away from the placid temple towards the border of Beisheng, his horn echoing over the fields again and again. Zheng Yao looked at the blessed Channel Zhu and was surprised to see a single tear roll down the old man's cheek. As he turned back, he saw what looked like dark rain whistling from the guard towers on Beisheng's side of the border, and a few seconds later he saw Shesun Zhu's horse jerk as if it had hit an invisible wall. In an instant, the first general disappeared from view. His horn blast was cut off, replaced by a heavy, brooding silence. For several minutes all was quiet. Finally Zheng Yao spoke. "A fool," he said angrily. "A child and a fool, a bad student and an arrogant—" "Shh," the blessed Channel Zhu said, kneeling on the ground, watching his hand as a small black ant made his way around its lined, undulating contours. "He was the first general. He had an army." He smiled as the ant paused at the base of his thumb before beginning its upward journey. "For a short time, he had sanction." The end. Don't. He looks at chat and watches. Whoa! All of a sudden, like, wha-bam! Thanks, Nerdy. Thanks to Miser. Thank you, Square. Thanks, Net. Thank you very much, Polar. I appreciate it. Thanks, Chiwana. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks, Lego. Yep, so that's going into the of Greek history and mythology. Oh, cool. Yeah, it actually, the funny story behind it is I got it from, I took my first ever yoga class with my wife about a week ago, and the yoga instructor was talking about the importance of teachers and students, and just in a rush, all of a sudden I had this idea for a teacher and like a student trying to learn from the teacher, and then it just kind of sprang from there, so... Thank you, Splatter. Thank you. I should write books or something, so I guess it'll work out then. Yeah, read it backwards. No, you saw what happened to the dude. You don't want to lose sanction. So, hey, I have a question for you guys. Did anyone? I'm just curious because I literally finished this about 6 hours ago to get it ready for submission. So, did any of you feel sorry for Shesun Zhu or not? Thanks, Ned. Did any of you feel sorry for Shesun Zhu? I'm just curious. Or were you like, screw that punk? Okay, good. Good. I'm interested because I don't want to make him, I didn't want to make him the most obvious person. I wanted to be something a little bit different. Oh, cool. Mostly pragmatic. Yeah. Well, no, I don't expect people to be like, he's awesome. Like, I mean, he clearly is like misguided. But I had this image of like, yeah, pretty much. I mean, that totally is what it was. You know, one of the interesting things, the Miser, that I had to decide was was he going to run towards the temple out of anger at them, or was he going to run at Beisheng? And I decided he was going to run at Beisheng because he still had this image that, like, that seemed more noble to me. Like, if he runs back at the temple, he's just kind of like, I hate you, I'm going to, you know what I mean? And this one was sort of a different matter, so... how long did it take me to write? Well, tonight I wrote about 7 or 8 pages of it. It's about 14 manuscript pages, which is about almost 4,200 words. And I wrote about, I want to say I wrote like 7 or 8 pages of it in about 4 hours tonight. And then I wrote the other 4, so probably about 7 hours, but 7 like, or maybe 8 hours, I'd say, probably 8 total hours, but that's 8 solid hours. Like that's 8 no break, like just staring at the screen, typing hours. So, And that's going to appear, as I said, in this anthology, this Kickstarter, Time Travel Tales. And there's a lot of good people in there. Timothy Zahn is going to have a story in that collection. He's a big Star Wars guy. Mike Stackpole also did Wasteland and is working on Wasteland 2. Mike Stackpole's going to have it as well. So, yeah, it's going to be in there. So, yeah, Demiser. Absolutely. Yep. Thank you very much, Nedwin, also for putting that thing about, like, as I was reading. I appreciated that. One of the reason that I hesitated at the end is because I noticed there was something I had missed that I wanted to add, like a word, and I started typing on my desktop computer keyboard. I'm like, why isn't this working? I'm like, oh, because, oh God, you know. Oh, not necessarily. You can write a lot. Arvan 2016, the movie. Lower textbook prices. No, Lego, you can totally write far faster than that. You know, when I'm really cranking, I can probably turn out... My top speed for manuscript pages is probably about 2 pages an hour. But I really... Because I try to be a pretty clean writer, so I make the 2 pages I write, I'll have to revise it somewhat, but they're going to be pretty... Like, they'll hold together pretty well. So... Working at that pace, I can get about 2 pages done in an hour. So I can probably get a chapter finished in a day if I just completely sat down. Because each of my chapters for a novel is usually about 15 manuscript pages or so. So yeah, no, authors totally have different things about that. Do I have writer's block? No, I don't, Lego. Actually, I have a friend who's a professional writer also, Kelly Swales, who says that writer's block is a myth, she thinks. She thinks that writer's block means that something else is blocked in you, that basically like you have some other issues going on that are not related to that. And I think there's some truth to that, you know. But anyway, I was kind of like, it was kind of interesting to kind of see how this was all going to work. So yeah, but nope. Unfortunately, I have not run into writer's block. Basically, to wrap up the answer to that question, if you have writer's block, it means you have to figure out whatever other emotional block you have, you know. So, Arvan 2016, the Eleron movie, or Arvan 2016, Eleron's Vengeance, you know. That, yeah, well, you know all about that, Demiser, because you're a guy who, you know, writes quite a bit and consistently. Yeah, exactly. You can't just do that. I mean, to me, actually, the best thing to get me inspired is a deadline. I mean, in this case, I had, you know, the guy had said that I'd asked him about the whole thing. I was like, I don't want to give you my novel prologue. Can I give you an original story? Expecting him to say no. By the way, that's a mistake. Never ask anyone anything expecting that the answer is going to be no. And that's good, Rookie. Arvan Wars, the Eleron Strikes Back. And so he was like, oh, sure, you can give me a new story. That's fine. I'm like, he's like, but it's due by March 6th. I'm like, so, and that was like 2 weeks ago. So I've been busy doing a lot of other stuff, and I started to conceptualize it, put it together, and then work on it over this past week. And then just, you know, today I had to go into school for a meeting, and I told my wife, I said, do you mind if I stay at school and just bang this out in my office? Because I can do that. No distractions. My wonderful daughter won't come in and say, Daddy, come play with me. You know, she's great. She's a wonderful kid. But it's just hard to get writing done when she's doing stuff like that. So I was like in my office at school and like just sat down and churned it out. So yeah, deadlines, man. I will take deadlines double, you know, every day and twice on Sundays over inspiration, so to speak. Rookie, what's this story about? Very funny. Did you miss it all, Rookie? You were listening, right? I do not have my own agent. I'm between agents. I had an agent up until actually about a year ago, February of 2012, and then I parted ways because he just wasn't getting my work read in enough places, and so he had made what happened was he was an agent that was working with an agency, and the other guy who ran the agency died suddenly, like within a week, and all of that guy's clients, who were all nonfiction, got dumped in my agent's lap like literally overnight. And so my agent all of a sudden had like, you know, 90 clients that he had to do stuff for instead of like the 30 or 40 that he was working with before. And he just got overloaded. So he basically offloaded most of his fiction clients. And I eventually just said, listen, I need to have someone who can focus on the fiction side. So I am now in the process of looking for other agents too. So yeah, totally, Lego. Chiwana, I primarily do write fantasy. I'm a speculative fiction author, so most of what I write is speculative fiction. I'm also an academic, so I've written an academic book, I've written academic articles, and I've written articles for the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America Bulletin about like the business side of things, so I do that as well. But when it comes to fiction, most of what I write is fantasy. Sometimes different kinds of fantasy, like dark fantasy, slipstream, epic fantasy, and then you know, a little bit of sci-fi thrown in here and there, but mostly fantasy, yeah. Yeah, thank you all very much. And I'll answer like a couple more questions, then I'll get back to Mass Effect 2, so you folks can have fun watching a game and not just listening to me babble on. What are my favorite authors in the genre? Probably the author that I would most like to emulate as a writer is Brandon Sanderson. I run a podcast called Speculate, which is a podcast that, along with my friend and fellow author Brad Bollier, who has a series from Nightshade, and he has a new series. He just signed a contract with Daw Books. So we interview fellow authors in the speculative fiction genre and also editors and artists. And so we've interviewed Brandon before. Brandon is just really smart. He's got his stuff together. And he's just kind of a pro's pro. You know, you always know you're getting a good story from him. You know he knows what he's doing. He's got tremendous grasp of like magic systems and all that kind of stuff. So I'd say that Brandon is probably, Sanderson is probably the guy that I would emulate the most. My favorite author of all time in the genre is Tolkien, because Tolkien really inspired me and inspired a lot of what I do in my writing. But, I mean, you know, Tolkien is not around anymore, and you know, it's kind of a different deal these days. But that was my, you know, original guy. And then there's lots of others that I really admire. I like China Miéville. I like I've always liked Ursula Le Guin. I like Robin Hobb. So there's a lot of others of those as well. Let's see. Tolkien. Yeah, that's right. He's a good man, Tolkien. Good guy. Very good writer. Oh, Jim Thice. Yeah, absolutely. What's my opinion on romantic elements in fantasy? I think it's fine, Demiser, as long as it's not paranormal romance, where it's basically romance with some ghosts or some vampires or some werewolves. I don't have no problem with romantic elements as long as they're elements and it's not like romance with a couple of ghosts thrown in, which is the way that sometimes it goes. Yeah, I dig Jack Vance. Absolutely, I totally dig Vance. Hey, Laporce, good to see you, man. Yeah, Jack Vance is a cool guy. It's funny because his stuff is very like he's like Michael Moorcock, who I also like a lot. He's just kind of like, let me just throw this fantasy out there, and you're either going to take it or leave it, you know. So there's stuff as well. Or another guy, another one who I really like is Terry Pratchett. I really like Terry Pratchett. I think he's very underrated, in fact. And I think what, you know, a lot of you may know that Terry Pratchett has early onset Alzheimer's, which is really terrible. Not just, it would be terrible for anybody, but especially for a guy who's so good with words and language and stuff, you know. So I'm hoping they can find a cure before it really gets to him, because that guy's just amazing. But so I like Pratchett a lot too, and he's very good at understanding, like, kind of doing the satirizing fantasy while still loving the genre. So there's that too. Yeah, it sure was. It was really, yeah, he's it's tough. I mean, when I heard that story, I think a lot of fantasy writers, when they heard that had happened to him, were just like, I don't even know if I could describe it. He's like the one guy that you always felt was sort of like separate from all the drama and all the, like, you know, the back and forth stuff and the little sniping that can happen in the field. Pratchett was like this guy that everyone thought he's a really good author. Everyone respects him. Everyone likes him. And then to have that happen is just, really terrible. Yeah, his daughter wrote the script. That's right. His daughter wrote the script for Tomb Raider, which means if she's anything like her dad, it's going to be pretty good. Yep. No, I've never heard of Kristen Cashore. Nope. Don't know anything about her. All right, so let me move back to Mass Effect. We can still keep talking about this if you want, but I don't want all these wonderful people to. I don't want all these delightful, wonderful people to feel as if they are not getting their real gaming in. Whoa. Really, Rookie? Oh yeah, you're more than welcome, and people don't have to leave. They can hang out for me playing some more ME2. But yeah, thank you guys very much. I wanted to read that to a live audience, and it really helps me to hear it as well. So that's why I wanted to do that. He's at 300 viewers. Oh my God, he is. Oh dear heavens, nice. Okay, now Cat has got to stick with this and freaking play the game and like do his commentary. I'm telling you, the reason it works for Kata, and if you don't know already, you should definitely follow Kata. The reason it works for him is because when he's playing a game like this, he can talk to chat and he's really good at commentary in games like this. So, you know, that's awesome. Oh, good for him. I'm definitely going to head over there and check him out in a little bit. All right, let me cancel out of there first. All right, and I'll play another maybe half hour or so of ME, and then I will go over to support him. Oh, well, thank you, Laporce. I appreciate that. Watch your volume, guys. I don't know how loud this is going to be. Yeah, Douglas Adams, yep. Good guy. Oh, is he really? Oh, that's interesting. What happened to, Oh, hold on a second. Gonna input some information, hold on. Whatever happened to I'm all about independent games? You know what I mean? Alright, there's the Cerberus network. It's news that would work. Yeah, he's playing Bitrunner. No, I know he mostly does like indie stuff, so you know, works that way. Well, that's great. Well, listen, you know, Kat is a really great streamer, and you know, I learned a lot about whatever I do in streaming that works. I learned from Kata, and he's a very good guy. So I am very happy to hear him doing well under any circumstances. So. But yeah, for people, by the way, who are new, just before I move back into ME2, I just wanted to mention thank you all again for watching, and if you guys liked what you heard, right now I'm streaming Mass Effect 2, of course, as you can tell, but I am also playing what we call game books. Lego knows about this. A lot of my people in channel do. If you ever played Choose Your Own Adventure as a kid, what I do is I've been a DM for many years, Dungeon Master for Dungeons & Dragons, but I'm pretty busy. I don't really have time to set up D&D games at the moment online. So I've been going through some game books that I have, the fighting fantasy game books, which are basically like Choose Your Own Adventure with dice. And what it is chat basically we have like a whole program set up. And chat controls the character by making choices. I read portions of the book, they make choices and decide where to go. We've run through 4 books in the Sorcery series, we finished that, and then we did the first 2 books so far of Fighting Fantasy series, and now we're in the 3rd one, The Forest of Doom. And so if you liked what you heard on the fantasy side, that might be for you as well. And yeah, so that's the deal. Okay, now back to the game. Galaxy map, first time in ME2. Oh, they kept the music. Yay, they kept the music. Oh, that's awesome. Ooh. Wow. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Woo. Yay. Oh, that's awesome. So what is that? I don't. What does that mean? What is this 0% thing? I don't understand. Oh, it means I haven't done any of it yet? Is that what that means? These are the like galaxies and stuff, and okay. So I actually have to maneuver my ship into it. Unexplored. Oh, okay, so here's what everyone said was like the scanning in the second one. Okay, standard methane ammonia gas giant. Imorcan is the main source of helium-3 fuel for ships coming to or from Omega. Most of its fueling stations are run by criminal cartels who engage in cutthroat, sometimes literally pricing wars. Imorcan is also widely known for its layover stations, where pirates in a hurry can find fuel, ammunition, intoxicants, gambling, and sexual companionship at any hour. Great. Well, it's interesting, Lego, you know, one of the things to think of is maybe sort of doing what you do for the game book terms first, and then going back and adding more details later. I know writers that do that. Okay, so what...
Launching probe. In research projects, palladium is used to upgrade heavy pistols, armor, and cybernetics. Launching probe. In research projects, platinum is used to upgrade sniper rifles, shotguns, and medical equipment.
This is interesting.
Probe launched.
So could you just like keep doing this forever? Hello, Angel, my love. Angel, my love, I think you are a member of Inam's cast, if I'm not mistaken. You've been on Destructoid. You followed Inam, right? I believe? Because that name sounds very familiar to me. Welcome into the stream. That's what I thought. Yeah, welcome into the stream. So, explain these probes to me, guys. Like, once I use up the probes, that's all I have for any planet, or just for this planet? Like, how do I... What is this 7 probes thing? I buy more? Hey, Morris, where do I buy them from? Where do I buy the probes from? On stations near relays, okay. But I mean, like, I'm finding good stuff, right? Like, isn't this what I'm supposed to be doing with these probes? Like, I haven't been shooting it at, like, stuff that I shouldn't be, right? Buy them for oh, okay. That's good to know. Yeah, this is my first playthrough, so this is all new to me. Like, when do you know if you're done with a planet? Like, am I done now? Because pretty much I haven't, like, this seems like there's nothing else, really. Status? How do I know? I don't understand. Oh, okay, well, first of all. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Aha.
Launching probe. In research projects, iridium is used to upgrade heavy weapons, submachine guns, and assault rifles.
This planet has got a lot of stuff on it, then.
Probe launched.
That's funny. Okay, so when it says pour, I can leave, you said, right? So that was pretty effective, it sounds like. Okay. Alright, cool. That's kind of cool. Alright. tiny little planet over there. Okay, now, is that fuel depot? Is that where you buy more probes? This fuel depot? Okay. Buy fuel? What do they mean buy fuel? I have fuel? I'm gonna max that out. Oh yeah. Alright. So, what do I buy fuel for? Like, what do I need fuel to travel? Wait, whoa. So, was I... So wait, I could, like, be flying around and I could run out of gas here and then I'm screwed? Is that what that means? So in other words, like, so going here, like, am I using fuel right now? Like, is doing this using fuel? Oh, okay, so other areas. Okay. Alright. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Net. What's up, man?
You can see the other mad background.
Hold on, I'm gonna turn down my volume because I can't hear you very well. And that's why. And turn that down to 50. Right. Okay, now say that again.
Check.
Yep, that's good. So say again now.
Open the map. On the background, you can see the feather, the Amad.
Yeah, Amada, right. I see it, yep.
It's another systems with like stars in it.
Okay.
Actually, and to travel there, you need fuel. Actually, not inside the one system.
Oh, so if I want to go into one of these like outer ring deals, Fathar,
yeah, you can try
Amada.
right now. It's not that like very...
No, it's okay. I'll explore what I want to explore in here first. But so Batala is another one like that. Whatever this is, Aaron Larkin, Kyra Vamore. So all these ones are the same deal. Okay, cool. All right, that's awesome. All right, so let me check out this little planet. Tiny little planet. Whoa. If it were closer to Sahabarak, Bindur would have an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane. Low volume guy comes to save the day. He's got 334 people in his chat? That's awesome. Wow, I'm really excited for him. That's awesome. Hopefully, and now once he's got the servers running, he didn't have to rage, right? Now that he's got the servers running, he's in a good mood. Yes, I totally am, Polar. Thank you for reminding me. Polar was one of the first people to buy my first novel. And if anyone in chat is interested in what they heard me reading before, if you wanted to buy my first novel, I am happy to sell it for $20, which you can do via PayPal. I will ship it to anywhere in the world at my cost, and I will happily sign it for you. And there's been about probably 12 or 13 people at least from the streams which have taken advantage of that. Most recently, Salonis just bought it. G, who's a regular viewer of mine in Brazil, just got his book. So if you're interested, feel free. Oh, that's okay, my love. I understand. I wish I could give them away, but I can't. So, yeah, and Polar was like one of the first. He's the original. So thanks for reminding me, man. Okay, let's start this scanner. So I know I'm probably going to get sick of the scanning because everyone says you do, but I think this is kind of cool, actually.
Launching probe.
As soon as your computer starts to work, I will buy the crap out of your book. Thanks, Rook. Ooh, this says rich, too. Yeah, it's never an expectation. I'm very happy to just have people in the chat. I really love that, so... But, obviously, I love readers, so... It's available online at Barnes & Noble, and it's available on Amazon online, but you will find it was a small print run, so the copies are starting to become scarce. There are some copies online that you can get used for very cheap, but you don't know what condition they're in necessarily. And you also don't get me signing it, so there's that too. But yes, you can get it at other places. In the bookstore on the shelves, normally they'd have to order it, is what happens. Angel, that's funny.
Do you want to spoil it?
So, say again, Ned?
Spoiler. Do you want
do I want
I
to?
can tell you one spoiler. It's not very important, but it will like make you hate game not that much.
Okay. Spoiler. Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
It's about collecting the resources.
Okay.
The lemon there. It's eventually when you will have new crew members. Yeah.
Yeah.
They will allow you to research something for the ship, some parts for the ship. Yeah.
Right.
One of them will be extend scanners. These scanners will allow you actually to scan planets very quicker.
Oh, cool.
3 times quicker. So you can actually not that hard on collecting resources on early stage of the game.
Oh, I see. So in other words, I should wait a little bit until I get that stuff, is what you're saying.
Maybe not wait. I can't clearly remember which member it was who grants you advantage in such a scanner, but I can't remember when you will be able to get it, but though it's very convenient to do it with this upgrade.
Yeah. That's cool. That is good to know. That's not a spoiler at all. That's definitely, I appreciate that.
It's spoiler, actually. It's spoiler. When you get it first time, oh my goodness.
You're like,
what have
thank
been doing
God.
all this time? Yeah.
That's okay though. That's
it's a great idea.
That's fine. Now, if you spoiled the story, that's a whole other thing. But that's time.
Not.
No, I know
would
you
not.
wouldn't.
I know.
No, I know you wouldn't.
I know the best.
Angel, I am happy to hear that you want to be a writer when you grow up. It is a very difficult profession, which is why it's not my day job at the moment. I'm a college professor for that reason. But it's there are really a lot of good things about it. And for me, I always love my whole sort of purpose in life in a lot of ways is I love communicating with people, sort of bridging gaps and sharing things that I've thought about with others if I can. And so in that sense, being a writer is one of the best ways to do that. But takes a lot of discipline, a lot of reading, and of course a lot of writing. So yeah, that's exactly right. What's up, Tweaked? Welcome into my stream. Good to see you. Yeah, and Lego, by the way, Lego Freak, who's our resident dice roller. Oh, that's cool, Angel. That's what you have to do. You gotta start by writing it, and then kind of get your stuff out there bit by bit. And the more you can pick up from other writers and stuff, what works for them, the better. Lego is working on a game book, by the way, so that paragraph is from that. And so far, he's got some very good passages. That one that he posted is, I think, a very good one. So it's good stuff. Oh, but don't let me influence you. I'm sorry. You go ahead and tell him what you think of it. I'm like, I think this is awesome. She's like, I think it's terrible.
Probe launched.
Oh, thank you very much, Tweaked. I appreciate it. Well, it is on my stream, so once I log off for the night, you'll be able to check out the video, and you can watch it yourself if you're interested. But thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Probe away.
Thanks, Polar.
Oh, by the way, Telecus, are you familiar with the ME series at all? Or it's your, first viewing at the game?
I'm pretty sure he knows a good deal, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm just curious, his nickname fits in the game terms of the flotilla so perfectly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Legos is great. Yeah, I really like that passage. I think that's really good stuff.
Launching probe.
Why are you so scared? That's funny. Unless you get a burgeoning career as a game book writer, Lego. I got probes all over this itty bitty little planet.
Launching probe.
Also, try to not spend probes on each spot you find, because
right, I'm trying to I'm trying to hit 3 different minerals with one or whatever. I'm learning how to do that.
It's much better when it's 1 bar higher. then 2 are on the better way because as for firing, as I can see it, it's like not the linear bandits. It's more like exponential.
Right. Well, this is now depleted, so. Alright, now one more. I'm going to go to this big one and do the same thing, and then I'll go actually do a couple of quests. So let's go to this big one here. How about
I was playing ME2 after ME1. It was actually like, oh my goodness. But, it was like very outstanding, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe right now when some guys playing ME3 and then ME2, yeah, of course they might not like it, but previously after first part it was.
That's why I'm really happy that I was able to do it in order. That's yeah. I feel like that's the one benefit of my playing some of these things later. Dishonored I played the minute it came out, but for some of the games that I play, like Arcanum for instance, they're many years old, and so here I'm actually getting a chance to play through the whole story, which is kind of fun. So,
funny moment.
what's
I'm
that?
sorry.
No, it's okay. I just want to read this description. Erdek is a close orbiting brown dwarf. Most red-brown dwarf binary systems have an average separation of 8 AU. The Saharabarak system is about 12 billion years old. Heh, that's nothing. And has long since used up the deuterium used to fuel fusion, so Erdek is not luminous like some brown dwarfs are. Erdek is a Class L brown dwarf with a relatively low temperature of 1300 degrees Celsius, but its heat and gravity have made it unpopular development. Rumors that the heads of several of Omega's crime syndicates maintain private residences on various moons. So it's like Far Cry 3, but in space. Whatever the truth of the matter, battles between syndicate vessels are often observed around the ring plane. News outlets on Omega maintain satellites at Erdek's Lagrange points for real-time coverage of these battles, which garner high viewing ratings. That's cool. It's like Tatooine. Astronomical unit, the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Thank you, Taligos. I appreciate that. No, that's good, Angel. That's, you're writing because you love to do it and because it matters. I write because I love to use it as a communication device. And it's cool to be able to write about magics.
No, the funny moment was talk about actually the fact I started Final Fantasy series from the early beginning, from the first part.
Right.
And on the GBA, actually, it means a lot. Like, I've looked for some of the screenshots of the 7th part, which is concerned to be the best of the series, and first and best.
Which one did they say is the which one did they say is the best?
No.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. What?
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I said which one did they say is the best?
7.
Oh, 7. I have to say, I think 7 is probably my favorite too, but that's also because when I got it, there's a little bit of nostalgia there. Like, when I got it, it blew me away. I still think that it's among the most epic of the Final Fantasy games. I like 7, I like 9 quite a bit. I hated 8, and I didn't really like 10. And then some of the earlier ones, like Final Fantasy 1 and 2 and 3, those are so dated at this point that it's hard to like. It's like I love Ultima 7, the Black Gate, when I was back in college, but if I go back and play it now, I just can't handle the you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a graphics guy, but you can't play a game like what we're playing right now and then play that one and be like, oh yeah, this is great. Like, this is a great game. Like, it's too old now,
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's funny. It's really relaxing. Someone said the other day it was kind of like that I'm like the Bob. I think it was just a miser, or somebody said like I'm like the Bob Ross of these things. Like, oh, we'll have a pleasant little Reaper over here and a little Collector and Alien over there. Netawin, you probably don't know anything about Bob Ross, do you?
Probably not.
He's this guy who originally was on PBS, and he was an artist, and he was famous for, he would do this show where he was painting like landscapes and like, you know, mountains and the sea and trees, but he was famous for having this really like relaxing voice, and he was just like the most chill guy ever. He'd be like, and we're gonna put a couple of happy trees here, and we're gonna put a couple of happy oceans here, and then like he just like puts his paintbrush on the paintbrush on the like the thing, and then like a tree just appears, and you're like, wait, what? Like how, you know? It's freaking crazy.
Half a minute ago, it wasn't tree at all.
Oh, exactly, exactly. You're like, and he's like, no, we can, and he acted like it was so like nothing. He's like, and then you could do this. That's fine. I'm like, what? I can't do that. Thank you, Angel. I appreciate that.
And by the way, in agriculture, you can do this, and here we have.
Yeah, you know, it would be like
Yes,
it would be like Michael Jordan playing basketball. He's like, yeah, and we're gonna score 60 points. Like, what? How do you do that? How do you score that many points?
you
Like,
do that?
how do you, you know?
Yeah, I know.
So let me ask you guys a question. Netawin, let me ask you a question because you'll know this too. So when it says Hara Barak 100%, that means I've surveyed all the planets, right? Is that what that means?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Yay. All right, I'm going to go get more probes and then I'm going to go do a quest. Imposter Brew. So sorry, you were going to say?
Me?
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something and I was anxious to ask a
I know
question.
about such a thing as you said about this guy just because I couldn't see him. But I was, my best friends doing some, not researches, which you call it, how would you call it? Like, in terms of lessons, yeah, I was telling someone, and I was making a report, yeah.
Yeah, I know he is, Rookie. Hold on. Let me see. I'm trying. They're saying you're a little quiet on stream. I'm trying to figure out how to, let me see. Let me see if I can figure it out. Alright. Hang on just a moment. Desktop. TeamSpeak. Let's see. Change volume. Dun, da, da. Alright, go ahead and test.
Check.
Do that again.
Check.
That's a little better. Alright, you may proceed, sir. Oh, wait, I lost chat. Wait, no. There's chat.
No.
Okay. Now I can proceed. Yeah.
Yeah, but oh, okay, the report, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was reading the reports in high school, actually, when I intended to tell everybody about something interesting about something, I want to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like all the people, even the backyard guys who was chilling on the elections or on other players, usually, yeah, they were like facing me and like interested and, whoa, what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
And otherwise, when I was, my intentions was like, so nobody would hear what I'm talking about because it was like pure shit. I'm sorry for the word, yeah, but it was not what I was told to do.
Right.
What I was making a report about too.
Right.
Yes. And I intended to like hide this small feature. I was I don't know how I'm doing this, but I was just making a report and nobody's listening. Neither the teacher, nobody. Even my best friend, he was like, okay, 5 minutes, come on, you can do it, 7 minutes, no. Oh, okay, I can't, screw it.
User joined your channel.
Something similar to this guy you were talking about.
That's funny.
It's something variety.
It's just, yeah, but later on though, people love that because they're like, you know, it's awesome. Lego.
Yeah, it's pure like chill.
Yes, Lego. Normally what it'll do is it'll say the skill and stamina, and then when you kill it, it will say, if you manage to defeat the creature, turn to page blah blah blah. Or if you manage to kill it, then turn to blah blah blah. So, alright, we're going on to this base, chat. Here we go. Built in the mined-out husk of a metallic asteroid. Hold on a second. I gotta pop up XSplit. And move TeamSpeak over. Good. Right. So, built in the mined-out husk of a metallic asteroid, Omega has been a haven for criminals, terrorists, and malcontents for thousands of years. Sounds like my kind of place. At times, the station has lain idled and abandoned for centuries, only to be reactivated by a new group of outlaws seeking a fresh start. The space station's original elegant design has given way to haphazard expansion by scrabbling factions of every species. There is no central government or unifying authority at Omega, and nobody can recall a time there ever was one. Alright, so basically what this is this is like Vegas in America, and it's like one of the resorts in the Black Sea for Russia. That's what I would say. That's what this sounds like.
Everything you said, but a bit worse.
But all that but worse. Night Polar, thanks a lot for stopping by, man.
You'll see. You'll see it from the very beginning.
Nice, alright. This is where I'm finding the professor.
Professor, oh my goodness.
It's like
the
Cloud City.
Professor, oh my. I love the Professor.
Everyone says they love him, so alright, that's cool.
It's extraordinary. He's like, you'll find the moment when you'll also love him.
Alright.
I know you, and I tell you this.
Alright, I believe you.
There will be a moment.
I believe you. This is a really easy squad selection. Miranda and Jacob. Real simple. That's going to change, though.
The simple, the more of usage.
Yeah, well, because we just got the, right now we just got the 2, right? So,
when I was first playing through the ME2, I had to choose in the first mission Jacob. Though never have chosen him again.
Yeah.
So it was like pure choice of, okay.
Yep.
User joined your channel.
Welcome to Omega. You're new here, aren't
Hey,
you? I can always tell. Allow me to...
Oh, the Batarians.
Oh, hello, Mocklin. I was just...
Yeah.
Leave Fargate now.
Race of Hades.
Oh, of course, Mocklin.
Racists.
Whatever she wants.
Warriors.
Ooh.
Mercenaries.
Blasted scavengers. Welcome to Omega, Shepard.
You know who I am?
Of course. We had you tagged the moment you entered the Terminus systems. You're not as subtle as you think.
Is that because I kicked your ass in the Bring Down the Sky DLC?
Spectre to Omega.
So I'm curious.
I suggest you go to Afterlife now and present yourself.
Chill out, dude.
Cut the attitude. I'm not here to cause problems for Omega.
Things explode around you, Shepard. You can't blame Arya for keeping an eye on you. Afterlife, now.
Excuse you.
I'm receiving quarantine warnings about the slums where Dr. Morton Solus runs the clinic. Anticipate resistance at the transport station.
I think I already got that.
Access messages between mercenary groups regarding plans to deal with the Archangel. There's a recruiting station at Afterlife that may have information on him.
Oh, there's the map. Well, hello. Well, I'll be. Can I set waypoints? No, can't. Afterlife. Blah, 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 blah. Arya. And that's me, huh?
Arya.
Oh, no problem, Angel. You can ignore him entirely. Talk to the man in front of you. Alright, alright. I will. Let me check all this stuff. Check the damn squad. I wish they would stop giving me all these options. I'm not going to use these points right now, peoples. Just chill.
Originally an asteroid rich in element 0, Omega was briefly mined by the Protheans, who eventually abandoned it due to its thick, impenetrable crust. Thousands of years later, nature did what even the
I can remember.
Protheans did not.
Can you tell me?
Collision with
The
another
first part,
asteroid broke
was there
Omega
any
in
kind
half,
of
exposing its trove of element
Oh.
0 for easy mining.
Hold on, Ned. Hold that thought.
Rush
Because he's reading something right now. Hold on.
Corporations and private individuals tried to strike it rich on Omega, and thieves and outlaws followed in their wake. As space became tight, construction of processing facilities extended vertically from the asteroid, creating Omega's jellyfish-like silhouette. To prevent future collisions, the station is ringed with enormous mass-effect field generators that redirect incoming debris. Today, Omega is a major hub of narcotics, weapons, and EZO trafficking, without even a pretense of civilian government or military control.
Nice.
Only mercenary groups have been able to instill a limited order. The most ruthless is an Asari syndicate run by the notorious Arya T'Loak.
Well, with a name like Arya, You got something that's going to work out. So sorry. Yes. Go ahead, and you're saying.
Was there any kind of encyclopedia in the first part?
You cut out any single what?
Encyclopedia in the first part of Mass Effect.
Yes, there was actually. And actually, a lot of it got transferred over to ME2. Like there were a lot of the same entries. I noticed. So.
I was just curious.
Yep.
Because encyclopedia is the thing, at least in Mass Effect. We never watch, but it's always charming.
Yeah. No, and I actually really liked. Let me save it. I actually really liked the encyclopedia. I just think. So I was watching Yahtzee, who does the zero. I don't know if you've ever watched the Zero Punctuation. Like he does review videos. He's really really funny. But he's on The Escapist. So he did this thing of he was talking about Mass Effect 2, I think. And at one point he makes this reference to, he's like, BioWare has really excellent writing. But let's just get that out of the way because BioWare having good writing is not news anymore. It's like saying, my dog is wonderful. Your dog is wonderful. Leave it alone. Like, it was really pretty funny. Like, it's true. It's like BioWare is just so good at producing this stuff. These graphics, by the way, are really cool. Oh, there's Zaid. I got to go talk to this notorious mercenary Zaid. What's up, kid?
Please. Shut it.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah.
Please. You have to help me.
No one said you could talk, jackass.
Whoa.
You Zaid Masani?
Yeah, that's me. You must be Commander Shepard. Hey, we have a galaxy to save.
My contacts told me we're picking up 1 man, not 2.
Batarian delinquent.
Wow, 394?
Enough to hire me to go after him, and for my bring him in alive rates even.
Please, I didn't do it.
I said shut it.
Oh.
Tried to lead me on a chase all over the systems. You should have known better. These people always run to Omega.
I'm not sure about this dude.
What's gonna happen to him?
I'm gonna turn him in for the bounty. Don't much care what happens after that.
I assume you've been briefed?
I've done my homework. Cerberus sent me everything I needed to know.
How much about it? Oh.
Briefed?
I've done my homework.
Sorry?
Cerberus sent me everything I needed to know.
What's your relationship with Cerberus?
Wow.
Easy. Cerberus is paying me a lot of money to help you on your mission. That's the long and short.
Not many mercs would take a suicide mission for the pay.
Most mercs don't get an offer like the one Cerberus sent me. This mission doesn't sound like good business, but your elusive man can move a lot of credits.
Good to have you, Zaid. We have a lot to do.
That's what they tell me. I assume the elusive man told you about our arrangement.
Oh boy, what arrangement.
No.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that.
That information out of the dossier.
Good thing I asked. Picked up a mission a little while back, just before I signed on with Cerberus.
Probably going to play for another 20 minutes or so and then go over because I want to support him over there and watch.
He's the head of the Blue Suns, runs the whole organization. Seems he
His name is Vito, really?
Ashland refinery on Zoya, and is using their workers for slave labor. The company wants it dealt with.
I'll make sure we get that done.
Good. Get it out of the way so we can concentrate on being big goddamn heroes. I better turn this thing in before it starts to stink. I'll be locked and loaded next time you're ready to get some killing done.
Wow, guy's kind of a badass. I'm not entirely sure that I like him. But, oh, awesome, Lego. What is with the shoulder, Shepard? Like, did you break it? What the hell, man? Alright, let's see. Alright, Saeed Masani has joined my team, so I got him. Who else do I have on here? Oh, wait, the price of revenge. Travel to Zoria, land... Okay, right, I gotta take care of that. If it's getting rid of slave labor, I can take care of that. Alright, what do we got here? The professor is on Omega. Archangel is Omega. Okay, so I got 2 more I gotta get. Oh, and there's FBA couplings for the Normandy to be found on here. I should be able to find some ice brandy on Omega, right? You'd think I could. And what else? Okay. Alright. 5 pages is 5 more pages than you had before. Think about it that way. 2,000 words and 5... Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me think. 5 pages, 1,500 words. Okay, yeah. That's a little bit. So you're using kind of smaller font, but he gets decent lines and is awesome in combat. Well, we'll see, Tally. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, you should put a chapter online somewhere, Angel. But the key thing is to just keep writing and reading. So, 400?
Yeah.
Oh wow. All right. Yeah, I'm only gonna play another 15 minutes because I really want to be able to go support him, and he was nice enough to let me announce this. So.
We love you.
Oh, I know. Everyone does. Okay. Bring firearms and antihistamines is what veteran guides say about this lush garden world. First colonized in 2160, Zoria's temperate and tropical zones are overrun with plants and fungi of all kinds. As a result, the air in most habitable areas is choked with pollen and spores that range from benign to deadly. The scattered colonies across the planet have resorted to clear cutting and slash and burn farming to create habitable zones, and the more rural areas where the spores are thickest are populated only by Vorsha. Lax ecological laws allow mining and manufacturing industries to flourish and pollute cheaply, as the planet's carrying capacity far outstrips the current size of its colonies. Zoria is also home to the Blue Suns mercenary company who dominate the colony's security forces. The Suns enjoy nearly unlimited influence with local politicians and judges, ensuring no other private military contractors can compete with them economically. Nearly every colony has a Suns recruiting station, if not a training camp, though this has hardly made the planet any safer. Piracy, drugs and vice, and political violence are commonplace. Hey, Angel, go here. And on one of the sub-forums on AbsoluteRight.com, you will find there's a sub-forum for people to submit their work, and it's a locked forum. So you sign up, you get a password for it, and then people comment on your work. Now, I will warn you that people will comment, and sometimes those people are not going to have any more experience than you do. Okay, so you don't want to overdo what it can do for you, but it's valuable, and it can give you some ideas that you might not have otherwise. And that way, because it's locked, you don't have to worry that everyone on the internet's going to see it if you're nervous about it. Okay? And also, be ready, because if people say, I think you should fix this, I think you should fix that, and the other thing, that's not because you're a bad person. It's because they're trying to help get your work better. And even if they do think, if they're not nice to you about it, then just don't use them as critics anymore. But if they're being constructive but being firm, then those are the people you hold on to. So. Change squad members. Yeah, you mean like right now?
Slavery is an inextricable part of the Batarian caste system. By limiting the slave trade, the council is limiting our cultural rights. The council is scheduled to hear arguments over the next few weeks. Verlet representatives do not expect the council to take the culturally sensitive option.
All right, I'll take him. Man, I got the no-nonsense crew. I'm not necessarily going to stick with these... Command you to drop Jacob. I am not necessarily going to stick with these people. If they start causing problems for me, I'm going somewhere else. Because I don't care how nice they are, how good they are as, min-maxers. I'm looking for a team of the right people. Right. Caden Mark II. Hey, Konnichiwa. Alright. So I'm going to go talk to Arya, and then I think I'm going to head over to Kata's stream. Hello, many Batarians. That's cool.
Omega, what a piss hole. At least it keeps you on your toes. I've had to come here on business before. I feel like I need a shower afterward, in addition to normal decontamination.
Well, did you see that did you see that website, Angel, that I posted? If you go over there, you can find instructions on how to do it there. Oh, cool, Tally. Wow, that's awesome. Reminds me of Blade Runner. Whoa, look at that. Afterlife. Right, I'll go to Afterlife in just a second. Just quickly doing a little sweep of the area.
Its area is quite big. You will need like half an hour to explore all of it.
Oh yeah, no, I just meant inside this one room. So so I did that. Now I'm gonna go in, talk to Arya.
Come on, let me in.
Oh, it's a bouncer.
You might think of actually saving inside these corridor.
Yeah.
This hall. It will be long enough. Actually, you will have like you'll see. You'll have something there.
What are you looking at?
Don't you have something better to do than pick fights with people you don't know?
Much.
No,
This one.
just the
And
ones
then you
that
can
get in
save
my
it.
face.
All the rest things
really
can
wanna do
stay
this?
up to the next time.
Fine. You're off the hook. For now. See you around.
I am not a fan of the Batarians. That's right, plus
I
5
hate
Paragon.
Batarians.
They just piss me off. Just constantly like blah 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 blah. But I have to be honest. Most Solarians that I've met, I was not wild about either. So I hope that this dude that you're gonna have me introduced to is as cool as everyone says he is.
He.
All right.
Dave or not?
Hey, it's New York.
Yeah,
You don't
I
stop,
thought it
and you
would
don't
be
stop.
like Las
What?
Vegas.
What? Screenshot time. Ladies and gentlemen.
It's epilepsy time.
Oh man. All right.
The Solarian.
Merc Recruiter,
I like
huh?
how in-game made fires. Like, it's still like holographic, but yet looking awesome.
Yep.
And outstanding like real ones.
Yep, totally agree. And also, I actually like the what do you call it, film grain. I know some people don't, but I do.
Funny thing about this is that I'm mostly sure about that in-game fires, not the holographic ones, but like similar to real one when you're fighting or etc. Yeah, they're also made the same way as the holographics one. Like the holographics one actually copied from the real one and like buffed a bit.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, here we go. Time to talk to Arya.
That's close enough.
Terminator.
That's right.
Stand still.
If you're looking for weapons, you're not doing a very good job.
Can't be too careful with dead specters. That could be anyone wearing your face.
I was told you're the person to talk to if I have questions.
They're clean.
Depends on the questions.
You run Omega?
I am Omega. But you need more.
Epic moment.
Everyone needs more something, and they all come to me. I'm the boss, CEO, queen, if you're feeling dramatic. It doesn't matter. Omega has no titled ruler and only...
I feel like his helmet is really workable in this one. He's like, really? I'm Iron Man, lady. What do you think about that? She's Batman, I'm Iron Man. What?
Don't fuck with Arya.
I'm just going to have that stare and be like, well, I look like the badass robot Maximilian from the Black Hole, so what do you think about that? Right.
I like it.
And enjoy your weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget. Someone will remind you.
Oh.
Then I toss your sorry ass out the nearest airlock.
Like I tossed half of your people off of that asteroid? Really?
So, what can I do for you?
I thought about it, Rookie. I seriously thought about it.
Really, I dislike how sometimes Shepard walks in this part of Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Morton Solus.
Blondie
Do you know
girlish.
where I can find him?
Look at him crossing it. He's like got his legs crossed with that armor on.
Last I heard, he was trying to help plague victims.
Like, it's okay, I'm fine. Be cool, bro.
It's like I'm chill, even though my legs are now dying because. look at that! Look at that! Look at. I mean, are you serious?
Look at his face.
Like what? Like look at his. Seriously, who crosses their legs in armor? What the hell? For real now?
Maybe it's chain between like.
Yeah.
The copper blade.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. I'm sure it's not catching at all.
Not our century.
Right. Yeah. In the future, armor is completely comfortable and relaxed.
What can you tell
Or
me?
maybe there are
Part of the Solarian
what
special
you call it,
task squad.
another way of
Dangerous. Just don't get him talking. He never shuts up.
never
If
mind.
you really need to find him, take a shuttle to the quarantine zone. No guarantee they'll let you in, of course.